All right, everybody, let's begin. So thank you and welcome everyone, all of you groovy SecOps professionals for joining us today at SOCstock 2021. I am really excited for the first breakout session of the day. You Deserve a Security Operations Center, brought to you by Checkpoint. Joining us today is both Alon, who's the product marketing manager at Checkpoint with over 20 years of experience in cybersecurity, and Ron, a product manager at Checkpoint who leads their new Infinity Vision SecOps solutions, including the Infinity SOC and Infinity XDR. A few housekeeping items before we get things started. We will perform a quick Q&A, a live Q&A at the end of this session, so feel free to use the messaging or questions tab on the side of your screen to ask those questions, and we'll help address those at the end. And furthermore, this session is being recorded and will be available on demand. So, hang tight and you can rewatch this at your leisure. So with that, I will hand things over to Ron and Alon.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Alon Bar, and I'm a product marketing manager at Checkpoint. With me today, Rani Shalom, a senior product manager at Checkpoint. In today's session, we will share a few real-life attack stories. We will discuss the main security operation team's challenges. You will learn how Checkpoint Infinity SOC can enable security operations for your organization and what makes Infinity SOC and Simplify better together. I'd like to start with sharing with you a true story. It is a story about a European bank. This bank, as most organizations that take their security seriously, built a security operations center, or a SOC. In this case, the SOC team consists of 2 security operation managers working 8x5. And yet, one day, the incident response team received a call from the bank that they were hit with ransomware that basically dropped the bank to its knees by taking down 500 critical systems and paralyzing 3 branches. The incident response team came to the rescue and saved the day. But let's take a deeper look at what happened. When we analyzed the anatomy of the attack, we found that it all started with a phishing email that was sent to an employee of the bank that actually clicked on something he should not click. Over the course of the next 4 months, a TrickBot Trojan took hold in more and more devices in the network. Until February 23rd, when the threat actor was ready to launch the attack. Our second story begins with Jake. Jake is a cybersecurity professional working for Acme, a 350 employees company in the IT services industry. He is tasked with keeping the company and its employees safe from cyber threats. Jake took the necessary steps to ensure most threats are prevented, and he is using a SIEM platform to collect logs and monitor security events. One day, the CEO called Jake to his office and told him about rumors that confidential information was stolen from the company. He asked Jake to investigate it if this is true and discover how the information was stolen. Following a week of investigation, Jake discovered that a month ago, more than 100 gigabytes were uploaded to an unknown IP address. The CEO was, of course, very concerned with the legal liability, trade secrets, and financial damage that can follow such a major breach event. When we analyzed the anatomy of the attack, we found that the first step was unauthenticated access into an exposed server. The firewall created the log that was allowed by the policy. Second step was download a file manager application. It can be any application. In this case, it's WinSCP. Threat emulation found it benign because it's WinSCP, it's common, and it's allowed. And the third part is application control. After the installation of the application, it started to communicate outside. Again, a valid application that was installed by the attacker. The fourth step data was exfiltrated from this service. Each action separately was allowed by policy, but the logs from the different security products were not correlated into one meaningful security incident. Now, we assume that organizations that actually invested in building a security operations team make security very seriously, and that analysis led us to ask, how did the security operation team miss these attacks until it was too late? So, we set out to better understand the challenges of the security operations teams. We met with hundreds of security operation teams, and this feedback is very common across all of them. For many security operation teams, finding malicious activity inside the network is like finding a needle in the haystack. They are forced to navigate through tens of thousands of daily alerts, way more than what they can effectively handle. According to Forrester research, it's about 11,000 plus alerts on average per day. Most of the tools they use today, if they have them at all, generate too much noise or false positives, making the situation even worse. And to add to that, since most of these tools are not well integrated, there is too much time that gets wasted. The result is that critical attacks are missed until it's too late. Security operation teams are stretched thin. Every day, the cybersecurity team has to sort through a flood of alerts and logs in order to identify potential threats. These alerts are generated by multiple tools because our environment continues to expand and become more complex: network, cloud, mobile, IoT, and more and more. I listed here some, but not all, of the team's activities. Identifying the needle in a large haystack of logs, investigating potential incidents, triaging and prioritizing detected incidents, coordinating a response across team members and tools, reporting to management, keeping up with new and trending attacks, and ensuring an updated set of rules to help detect such attacks. But this is all just a part of what security operation teams has to accomplish every single day. They have many additional activities to ensure the organization is safe, like patching systems, responding to tickets, and more and more. Incident detection and response simply takes too long. And with that thought, I would like to invite my colleague Rani Shalom to discuss how Checkpoint Infinity SOC can enable security operations for your organization and what makes Infinity SOC and Simplify better together. Ran, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Alon. Let me just share my screen. I think it will be easier if I'll control it from my end as well. Perfect. So again, thank you, Alon, and hi, everybody. My name is Rami Shalom. I know we're following the comedy part. We didn't get any jokes ready. I'll try to think about them while I'm talking, but hopefully by the end, I'll have some, maybe not great jokes for you. By the way, I just wanted to remind you, there is a question and a messaging tab on the right. You can ask us and we'll try to address it in real time, just in case you have some additional questions. So what I wanted to explain to you or discuss with you better is how you can build an effective SOC and achieve SOC certainty, even if you're not, one of those large multinational companies like, I don't know, Bank of America. Because yes, they can build their own very effective SOC. They have a lot of money, access to so many people, but most of us do not. So we tried to help you. Sorry, questions?
If you can please share the screen, we can't see the screen.
I did. Let me share it again. Let me know if you see it now.
Yep, we can see it now.
It'll disappear again.
Oh, I can still see it.
You can still see it?
Yep, I can still see it.
Okay. I'll go for it. Let me move to the next slide. And now, do you see the new screen? Yes? No?
The screen is still working, looks good.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, so as I mentioned, building a SOC, an effective detection and response solution, can be expensive, can be complex. And what I wanted to do with you today is discuss the framework of how you can build something which may be a better fit for your organization without spending a huge amount of money and trying to build a puzzle, which is almost impossible to build unless you have a ton of money to spend on it. So what are the ingredients of a complete SecOps solution that is both effective as well as reasonable in terms of budgeting and in terms of the skill set? So let's examine together the recommended operational flow. What we recommend to start with is prevention. Prevention first is the most important pillar. By leveraging a prevention-first architecture, you can prevent as much as 98% of attacks against you, making sure the SecOps team or the security team is dealing with just a fraction of the attacks. The attacks that may not have been prevented for whatever reason. There are so many different reasons that an attack may be eventually successful. So start by preventing as much as possible. But of course, there's no 100% prevention. So next step, of course, is to detect what was not prevented. And detection is tricky. Detection is tricky because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you detect real attacks, not generate noise, not generate anomalies, which, of course, an anomaly isn't always a threat. It may be just, an anomaly, something that is unusual, but still perfectly okay and benign. So you want an accurate detection system that will only alert you when something bad has happened, and that detection system should have, as much as possible, of course, high accuracy levels and very low false positive rates. Once you detect something, in some cases, you would like to better understand it, investigate it a little bit more, understand the attack, understand what's going on and what's the possible impact as quickly as possible, of course. And the last step, of course, one, you detected, you understood the attack, now you want to respond to it. And you want to respond to it as effective as possible and with automatic playbooks, making sure that you respond quickly and effectively across all the different vectors that require your response. So for that, we created a solution that basically leverage a set of AI detection capabilities that we've developed over several years now with our research team called Checkpoint Research. This team is comprised of about 200 analysts and researchers and code reversers, you name it. We have all types of skills inside this large team. And together with them, we created an automated, think of it as an AI-based analyst that we taught that automated analyst how to detect threats, both, by the way, inside and outside the organization. And we'll talk about attacks from outside the organization, what it means. Not the origin, obviously, most of the times, maybe not most, but in some of the times the attacks originate from outside the organization, but some of the attacks actually stay outside and still can risk your organization. And I'll explain in a few slides what I mean by that. And like I said, investigation is oftentimes an important aspect. You want to understand the attack, and you need threat intelligence. Also, to better understand the trends, to better understand the common or typical attacks in your industry, in your region, and so on and so forth. And the best thing, if possible, again, deployment should be easy. Simply a breeze, just a quick couple of clicks, and you're up and running with no, no sensors and other and manage and so on and so forth. As simple as possible. So let's see one by one. We all know that detection is a huge challenge. There are so many terms associated with it, like alert fatigue and the flood of logs that are often generated by the different security systems that you have in place. And your SOC teams or cyber teams have to sort through so many different logs to really figure out what's going on inside the organization. Is there something going on? If not, and even if you are able to sort through so many logs, then usually you do it kind of in a sequential way. And you have no idea if the attack or the log, the specific log that you're investigating now, maybe there's in 10,000 lines from what you're now analyzing, maybe there's another attack lurking, something which is more critical and more urgent for you. So what can we do? Our system basically uses big data capabilities combined with, like I mentioned, AI-based detection solutions that can help us pinpoint real attacks with very high accuracy. And at the end of the day, we can reduce the huge amount of logs into the specific assets that got infected. Therefore, you can focus on exposing and shutting down only real attacks and not, spend time or waste time actually on investigating and trying to track leads that eventually turn out to be just false positives or, just maybe even an attack that never manifested and nothing was infected at the end of the day. As you can see here in this very small example, which is, by the way, real, 40 assets were targeted, but only 11 got infected eventually. And you want to learn about these 11 infected assets as quickly as possible. By the way, we're using telemetry coming from multiple sources, but mainly from the network. Why network? Because not all devices are managed. IoT devices, some mobile devices, of course. So there are elements inside the organization which are not controlled by an endpoint client. Therefore, we combine telemetry from all the different vectors into one single huge set of telemetry. We focus on network as well, just because we can detect things which are, like I said, unmanaged, and therefore there's no direct telemetry coming from these devices. And I mentioned before that some attacks can actually happen outside the organization. How about attacks, phishing scams, and financial fraud type of scams that actually take place entirely outside your scope of control? Your firewalls, your endpoints, they cannot really detect them because they live somewhere in the internet where you have no telemetry, where you have, in some cases, not even visibility, of course. Here, we'll leverage our footprint. We have a huge footprint across the globe. We'll talk about it in a few slides, but hundreds of millions of sensors across all countries, of course, all regions, and all types of vectors. And using them, we gain unique and I can't say full, but very wide visibility into real-time internet traffic, which can help us detect threats that actually lurk inside the internet and outside of your organization. And we can alert you on lookalike domains. We can alert you on other type of attacks that, like I said, live outside your organization. In this case, the detection, this is a real story. A bank, actually some of their customers receive a text message on their mobile phones saying that the bank detected some suspicious activity in their account. Please click here to confirm or see the transaction. Of course, it's on your mobile phone. You just click it immediately. It's very difficult to see that the URL is not the exact URL of your bank. Everything looks exactly the same. You of course log in to your account, and you can guess the next steps of the attacker, what they will do with the login information that they just got from you. And we were able to detect this threat before it was weaponized. Only 2 customers were actually clicked it, and we detected it and immediately were able to shut it down before anyone was hurt in that sense. Now, I mentioned the fact that there are sometimes multiple threats inside the organization and also outside. Another important element is the ability to automatically triage the threats that we detected, telling you what's the most important one in terms of detection probability as well as risk to your organization. In this case, you see, TrickBot is obviously more important to this point in time than adware, of course, or some external threat that is being maybe built. It takes time to build the lookalike domain. So obviously, you need to take care of the TrickBot infected devices way before you take care of the other threats. Is it targeting your industry? What about how active it is over the past 90 days? Some other additional information such as file names and attack techniques and so much more information that can help you pinpoint how the attack started, what is the penetration point, and so on and so forth. We help you analyze files and documents to understand whether or not they're malicious or not by providing you with automatic file analysis capability as part of our solution. And after we detect it and help you investigate, next step is to respond and respond effectively. And for that, we partnered with Simplify. Using the Simplify wealth of connectors and supported devices, together with them, we generate the automatic detection alert, and we feed them with all the information that they need to run a playbook that can help you effectively respond to that specific threat across your entire organization. So together, we offer a complete workflow that is almost 100% automated to support the entire workflow, like I said, of detection, investigation, and response. And everything is, by the way, feeding back the prevention system, making sure that the next time we will be able to prevent the attack and not, start with the detection and response process. So this is really in a nutshell, and you're more than welcome to learn more about our joint solution and the capabilities that together we can offer you by contacting us here at Checkpoint. You have our emails, and you can always go to our website to learn more at checkpoint.com. Go for Infinity SOC. This is the name of the AI-based detection tool that we have. And we, together with you, we can offer you both a demo as well as a free trial to see how the two tools can together create an effective and actually a cost-effective also solution for your security team. So with that, I wanted to thank you for your time and joining us.